All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today's order of business is about taking care of a small maintenance item that may not actually end up being a problem, but it's going to give me some peace of mind before we get headed out on our trip. This is like the last thing that we need to do to the truck that I'm aware of before we get hauling back onto the road and checking out some more national parks and more just mountain amazing spots. So today's order of business is cleaning out the back pressure tube that leads to our exhaust back pressure sensor. Now, there's a few things that you need to know about my truck before we get started. Okay, so first thing climbing up here that you're gonna notice it's a little bit different about my truck is I do have the Dieselsite water tare intercooler. So you guys are actually gonna be able to see how easy it is with these quick connect adapters to just pull this thing out so we can get to work. But I have a KC Stage 1 turbo on a deleted turbo pedestal. That means that I no longer have an exhaust back pressure valve. So you now might be wondering, well, then why do you care about the sensor in the tube? Well, that tube can still clog up, and the sensor's right here. It's kind of hiding between this fuel line and the bracket for the Dieselsite water tare intercooler. And you'll be able to see it once we get it out of the way. But I want to make sure that tube is clear. Now, if you're mechanically inclined, you're probably wondering, well, why do you care about the tube if you don't have the valve anymore? Well, it can still set off a code, which mine hasn't, but I don't know this 100%, so you guys may have to correct me in the comments, but if I'm not mistaken, the PCM will adjust timing on these motors based off of the back pressure that it's receiving from inside of that tube, and that tube can sit up over time, and so we could potentially be getting a false reading, which would just mess up my fuel mileage. So we're not getting any hesitation issues. We're not getting performance issues. This is just kind of a preemptive kind of maintenance, but also I've only had the truck for maybe a year and a half since I've owned it. And so I don't know when it was last done, and they need to be cleaned every now and then. If you own one, I would say try to do it every second or third oil change, if not sooner. Especially now that we have larger injectors, we do create more soot if we put our foot in it. So, you know, I want to make sure that that tube is cleaned. I don't know 100% if the timing is adjusted with this sensor. It may be that the sensor's only job is to tell the PCM to close the valve. I don't know if the adjustment in timing began closer to like the 2000s, the second generation 7.3s from like 98 and above. That's also possible, but just to eliminate me dwelling on it while we're on the road and being worried about it, we're just going to go ahead and take care of it today. It should be relatively simple. I imagine it's going to be a little hard to get loose if it hasn't been done ever or recently. So I'm going to take you along with how we're going to get to it, and if you guys can leave any comments about what a faulty or clogged sensor would do to a truck that's deleted, let me know, because there's kind of a lot of mixed stuff online. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect those guys. They do spill out a little bit. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't completely drain and we lose a bunch. See how easy that was? Very cool. Next, we need I believe an 8mm so that we can take off these guys. That will make it so we can remove the boots. Go. And this boot I'll get here in a second. Just make sure it's loose. Okay, next we have to get rid of, to take this off, there's only one bolt here. I believe it's a 13 mil. There we go. Oh, there's no better feeling in the world than guessing the size right the first time. Not having to do the walk of shame. All right. You know what? Let me grab, I've got one of these magnetic trays that I like to work with. There we go. Love having these things. All right. There we go. It comes out. All right. I'm gonna store this in the camper just so that it doesn't get dirty on the inside if a gust of wind comes by or something. Okay. Gotta remember to take out these guys, but I always like to stuff them full of something just so gunk and stuff doesn't get in there. Okay, so our goal, hopefully you can see here, is this sensor right here. We're gonna go ahead, let's disconnect the sensor very carefully because this plastic ages very terribly. Give it a little wiggle. Gotta be really careful with these in the old trucks, man. Okay, let me grab a wrench and we can spin that off. Okay, so I've got a 1-inch deep well socket over the sensor. I'm just doing this to loosen it. It was decently tight, so that's not a great sign. Shoo-wee! That puppy has seen some better days. The threads don't look terrible. But I don't think it would be a bad idea to get a new one of these. It might not be a bad idea to get a new one, so I might run to the parts store or order one before we leave. Get in here and undo that piece. Looks like a 5/8 maybe. If you're noticing there's liquid here in the valley, it's water because I washed out the engine bay, so don't freak out in the comments on me, okay? Now what's difficult about my truck here is that I have a fuel line that's kind of in the way a little bit that I am definitely not going to undo. So you might have it a lot easier. Now we're gonna have to I won't be able to take you guys on this because I can't squeeze the camera in there, but I'm gonna get down on the floor and see if I'm going to be able to remove that tube from the bottom, or if I'm gonna have to start removing the alternator and stuff like that. Okay, I'm gonna take you up in here. It might be kind of hard to see, but you see that tube right there going into the manifold? That's the one that we have to undo. So if I can point to it from down here, see my fingers right where I'm touching, that's the guy that has to come undone. That connects to the passenger side exhaust manifold. So I'm gonna stick my 5/8 wrench up in there between here and see if I can loosen it, and then we'll see if we can drop it down this way and pull it from the bottom, or if it needs to be pulled from the top. Let me put you guys over here so you can watch me struggle and laugh. Let's see, which way do we need to go? We need to go to the right, would be this way. We need to go to the left to loosen. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Oh God, can I even reach in here? Ah. Oh my God. Oh boy. Okay, I got it loose. It was really on there. So I just had to put some real oomph behind it to break it loose, and then because you don't have much space in between here, you're kind of turning it forever, very small. So we've got it loose, but it's not looking like I'm gonna be able to pull it from the bottom. So I'm gonna go up top and we'll see if we can pull it from the top instead. Okay, so we just have to remember the way it goes. So it goes down in between the pump, the high pressure oil reservoir, and the alternator bracket. And, oh man, come on, I'm almost there. Come on, buddy. It wants to. There it goes. Haha. And we got her. All right, so we were able to take it from the top, and blowing through there, air moves good. It's not clogged, so that's good. But I'm gonna go ahead and throw some carb cleaner through this. We'll clean the sensor and then we'll put it all back together. All right, so I got the sensor all cleaned up. She's looking a lot better. Still not new, but she'll work for now. And then I want to tell you about how I clean this, because I didn't take you with me. I just blasted the inside of this with carb cleaner until it ran clear. And then I put a little bit in here and I just let it sit for about half an hour. And then I took some compressed shop air, stuck it to the end, and kept blowing out of both sides until it stopped blowing black soot. And then I blew it one more time with carb cleaner, one more time with the shop air just to make sure that it was dry. And now it looks pretty good on the inside, not too bad. Okay, so putting this back is gonna be probably the more challenging part because it kind of has to sit something like that. If you're unsure of which way this goes, remember that this has to go diagonal into the manifold. So one needs to point up, which goes to the top. All right, so you guys can see, there it is, just kind of dangling there. Okay, quick tip. If you're starting to put this back on from the bottom like I am, put some tape on the top one, because if this slides all the way down when you get that bottom piece on, it's like damn near impossible to reach in there and pull it back to the top. So I would recommend, I'm just using some painter's tape here so it peels off easy, and that will just make sure that it doesn't slide all the way back down once I get it on. I got both ends all tightened up. Now we could put on the sensor. Too damn tight. There we go. We've got everything buttoned up. Gonna see if we get any check engine lights when we turn this on. Have to wait for my fuel to reach 60 psi. There it is. She's alive. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna let this thing warm up for a little bit. I'm gonna get back underneath and make sure that I've got that tighten up on the manifold side, just so that we don't have any unwanted exhaust leaks. But I'm gonna wait till it gets a little bit warm to do that, and that's it. So super easy to do. You guys can do it without having to remove a bunch of stuff, so give it a whirl.
He's got grease on his overall, smoke in his hair, bolts on the floor and parts everywhere. He don't know the difference in a belt or a chain, but a smile real wide while he wrecks your frame. Oh, bless his heart, it's a sight to see. The village fool trying hard to be